and Merry Christmas. You all are, we're expecting we're expecting you, and it's good to have you here. And if y'all would feel comfortable coming closer, we're a small group. It would be wonderful to have you up close. If not, stay where you are. Yes, thank you, Robert. That makes me feel much better. It really does. We got a beanbag there. All right, let's start with the song. Dale, throw the lyrics up there when you can. And y'all know it. If you can sing the fa-la-las. Deck the hall with boughs of holly, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. And again, just come in on the fa-la-las if you see the blazing Yule before us, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Strike the harp and join the chorus, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Follow me in merry measure, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. While I tell of Yuletide treasure, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Fast away the old year passes, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Hail the new ye lads and lasses, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Sing we joyous all together, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Heedless of the wind and weather, fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. We used to start with a song first thing in services. It's been a while. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. I'm Benjie Messer, UUCP's music director. I'm glad to spend Christmas morning with all y'all. Thank you. Just noticed y'all. Our minister, Reverend Christine Dance, is with her family this morning. We're glad to be covering for her. Please get cozy. We invited you to come in pajamas, regardless of where you're at on the spectrum, from pajamas to formal wear. Grab a chair, grab a blanket, grab a spot on the floor, grab a seat at a table, whatever feels comfortable to you. We have a shelf of sensory tools. We have lots of room to stand and stretch and move. We have some art supplies in the back. Whatever your age, you're welcome in any of these spaces. Special welcome to anyone joining us for the first time today. We strive to be a spiritual community for our time, focused on diverse theological perspectives, radical inclusion, and issues of justice and equity. Hello to everyone joining us via Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. Let's see, is anyone on our Zoom call? Do we have any folks? They will see us if we wave, if they exist. It's good to have y'all part of the congregation this morning. Okay, I think that's my bit. Your turn, Katie.
Oh, no, that's not my mic. Good morning. I'm Katie Resendiz, and I'm the Director of Children's Ministry here at UUC Phoenix. Our opening words this morning are Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I love you are all the exact same thing. When we greet each other with love in our hearts and a smile on our face, we are saying a prayer for one another. And we also have wishes and prayers we say with one another, like our covenant. If you would all join me in reciting our covenant while Mary lights the chalice. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to share our strength in fellowship, thus do we covenant. And the angels all said, beautiful.
Okay, one second, guys. Hi, I'm Mary. I'm your worship associate today. Oh crap.
Are you the Mary?
I'm Mary. I think there are other Marys. Hold on. I need to grab my laptop. I was not planning for this. Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
Sorry guys, it's Christmas.
Dashing through the snow.
I gotta get the announcements for you. There's one announcement. Okay. Hi, I'm Mary McManus, and I'm your worship associate for this service. Everything going on at UUCP can be found on our website, phoenixuu.org, and our weekly newsletter, Compass. There's just one announcement today from Reverend Christine. Next week, there will be a labyrinth set up in the sanctuary. Your guess is as good as mine. That's all.
So glad to have you with us, Mary, home from college. It's awesome. So I'm a song leader, and Katie is a storyteller. And our idea for today's service is to share some songs and some stories that are related to Christmas. We'll share some. We've invited a few of you to share some, and we're going to leave a little time during the service for you to share with each other as well. So to start, I really like learning new music, and I want to share a carol that maybe a lot of you know, but I didn't know until I was an adult, and I find it very fun to sing. And like the fa la 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 thing that we did at the beginning, there are lines that don't change, so you can just sing the lines that stay the same, even if like the lyrics aren't on screen or we don't get to it or whatever. So it goes, I sing da-dum, da, it's I saw three ships, and I'll go da-dun, 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 you sing on Christmas Day, yeah, dun, da-dun, 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 on Christmas Day in the morning, da-dun, 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 on Christmas Day, da-dun, 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 on Christmas Day in the morning, I saw three ships come sailing in, on Christmas Day, I saw three ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. And who was in those ships, all three, on Christmas Day, And who was in those ships, all three, on Christmas Day in the morning? 'Twas Joseph and his fair lady on Christmas Day, 'Twas Joseph and his fair lady on Christmas Day in the morning. Hey, we got the lyrics up. You're welcome to sing the other lines with me too if you want. Just whatever you want. You can stand, you can sit. Pray whither sailed those ships, all three, on Christmas Day, Pray whither sailed those ships, all three, on Christmas Day in the morning. Oh, they did sail to Bethlehem on Christmas Day, Oh, they did sail to Bethlehem on Christmas Day in the morn. You're right, Bethlehem is not a coastal city. So it's unclear here whether the ships are a metaphor for camels, whether Bethlehem is a metaphor for another city, whether the folks who wrote the song just didn't have their geography down. We don't know. Anyway, the next verse is, and all the bells on earth shall ring on Christmas Day, And all the bells on earth shall ring on Christmas Day in the morning. And all the souls on earth shall sing on Christmas Day, And all the souls on earth shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning. Then let us all rejoice again on Christmas Day, Then let us all rejoice again on Christmas Day in the morning. Thank you all. And now a story from Katie.
It shouldn't surprise you to know that there was a time before Mrs. Claus. A time when Santa still lived in his childhood home called the Valley of Laughter. And we hear lots of stories about the Valley of Laughter from an amazing storyteller who I admire so much, L. Frank Baum. You all know his name because of the life and times of Santa Claus, right? That's the story you recognize. Oh, no? What story is it that you all know by him? Oh, the one about the hurricane. Right. Got it. Okay. And TikTok, the short little videos. Okay. Oh, it was a tornado. You're right. I went to a high school where our mascot was the Hurricanes, and we were 4 hours inland. I get confused about these things. It was in Bethlehem with the 3 ships sailing in. Yes, exactly. So Santa lived in the Valley of Laughter, but started all of his Santa-ing practices pretty young in life. And he would work all year long in his workshop to make toys for one special night, the night that celebrated Christmas. And on that night, he would give out toys to all the children. But every day, he would go for a walk and leave the Valley of Laughter and go up into the forest of Benjie. And he loved it there. He loved the trees, how big and tall they were. He loved the contrast from the bright babbling brook of the valley to the dark, shadowy caves of the mountain. I have to fix this, hang on. Okay, there we go. I may not be able to see, but they won't fall in my face. So he would go on these walks and get to feel that difference. And in the summertime, it would be the difference between the hot, blazing sun in the valley and the cool shade of the forest. And in the wintertime, it would be the difference between the bustling cheerfulness of the town and the quiet stillness of the forest. The day before Christmas one year, in the time before Mrs. Claus, Santa was walking through the forest of Benjie when he was suddenly surrounded by a gang of trolls. You know, all Christmas stories involve a gang of trolls. And this gang of trolls stood around him in a circle. They probably snapped like this. And they shifted back and forth, and they said, "Hey, Santa, we don't like your attitude. We're not into it." And Santa was like, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna go." And they're like, No, we gotta talk to you. And that first troll walked up to him, and he said, "My name is Selfish." Santa was like, "Oh dear." And Selfish said, "Santa, you have all of these supplies and all of these friends who help you build things, and you make all of these amazing toys and then you give them away. Why don't you just keep them for yourself? You could play with anything you wanted. You could do anything you wanted. Why don't you?" And Santa said, "See that cottage way down there? That tiny little house? That's where I live. Do you know how many toys fit in that house? Not very many. If I filled my house up with all the things that I made and could make, I would be surrounded and crowded, and I wouldn't have any room to make any other toys." And Selfish was like, "Well, then you could get a bigger house." And Santa said, "And then I could clean a bigger house." Selfish got frustrated and stumbled off. Stood off in the distance. It's okay. Greed walked up. Greed said, "Santa, everywhere else, there are workshops and stores that make toys, and people could go buy them, and those toy makers take a vacation, and they get the holiday off. You could do that, and then maybe you could sell the toys and get money. You give them away for free. What are you doing? Those kids are noisy and fitful. They break your toys that very first day. It's a waste." And Santa said, "But they open them, and they smile, and they're happy on that very first day. And for that one moment, I make them happy." And Greed said, "Yeah, but you could, And he stomped off and stood over with Selfish. So now, there are 3 trolls standing around Santa. And it's not as many as 5, but I'm not a fan of even having 3 trolls standing around me in a circle. And up walked Vanity and Fame. They were the twins. Vanity said, "That red suit is ridiculous. Don't you want to wear anything else ever? If you wear that, you can't ever sneak around. Everyone always knows who you are. Fame went on, and then Fame looked and said, wait, no. Everyone knows who you are, and some of them don't even believe in you. And Santa was like, you are some weird Giannis twins, two-faced, I don't know what's going on with y'all, but you need to work on it. And they grumbled at him a little bit, and they said, well, think about it, Santa. You try to do all these things that should make people love you, and there's all these people who decide they don't even believe in you. Santa was like, yeah, that's okay. I believe in them, and I believe in me, and it doesn't really matter if they know who I am, because I still get to make them happy. And Fame and Vanity went off bickering and wandered around in a circle like they always do. We'll be right back. And then the biggest of the trolls was left standing off against Santa. And it was Malice. And Malice said, Santa, you've made a lot of mistakes in your life. You're not perfect. You should be full of regret. You've given kids the wrong toys. You've broken things when you were trying to make them. And Santa was like, yeah, that's true. Malice said, the kids feel that way too. They make mistakes. They get angry. They break things on purpose. Sometimes they want to hurt your feelings. Santa said, I kind of want to hurt your feelings right now. Malice said, well, don't you know that just breeds hatred in the world? And that's when Santa stepped back and said, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, trolls, get over here. And the trolls were taken aback because no one had ever used their 7th grade teacher voice on these trolls. But Santa had it down. And when Santa said, get over here, they did. And even the twins stopped bickering. And Santa said, me committing an act of love and giving someone a gift in kindness does not force them to feel hatred. In fact, when I give them a gift on Christmas morning, it doesn't force them to feel love or happiness or kindness, because there is nothing I can do to force someone else to feel something. And you all can't force me to feel intimidated. And the trolls thought about it and grumbled about it. Why do you tell everyone Happy Christmas? Why do you tell everyone Merry Christmas? Blah, 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 blah. He said, because I believe that if we wish everyone a happy holiday and a good day, we are saying a prayer, and we are putting the energy out into the world, and that in itself is magic. The trolls did not like hearing that, because nothing a troll in a magical forest, in a forest of Benjie, likes to hear less than magic is good and magic is real. Did you know that trolls don't believe in magic? You've been on the internet, right? Trolls don't believe in magic. And Santa said, Merry Christmas, get over yourselves. And turned around and walked away. And those angry little trolls grumbled off, each to their own cave, and they were both delighted and very, very angry to find a gift in each of their doorways.
Thank you, Katie. So I mentioned earlier that I had asked a few of you to share a song. I did not warn those people where in the service I would ask them to come forward. Emily, would you be down to share your song first?
Stuck on my glasses. Okay, so rather than me holding out long lines, it's do you hear what I hear? So when I say it, you say it back to me. Said the night wind Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? Ringing through the sky, shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear? A song, high above the tree, with a voice as big as the sea, with a voice as big as the sea. Said the shepherd boy to the mighty king, do you know what I know? In your palace warm, mighty king, do you know what I know? A child shivers in the cold. We must bring him silver and gold. We must bring him silver and gold. Said the king to the people everywhere, listen to what I say. Pray for peace, people everywhere. Listen to what I say. The child, sleeping in the night, he will bring us goodness and light. He will bring us goodness and light.
Each week, we leave time to read out loud some joys and sorrows of our community. This communal sharing helps us connect and support each other. Folks on Zoom, please feel free to enter any joys or sorrows into the chat, putting your name at the beginning. Those of you here in person, the joys and sorrow cards are always at that table, and I have a few of them for you. Our first one is a sorrow from Brad Chapman. He is remembering his grandmother, Rita Mortensen, who passed on Christmas morning 9 years ago today. From Debbie Betcha, a sorrow that my aunt passed away suddenly in Italy. Joy that it prompted me to plan a trip with my mom and sister to go and visit family with a side trip to London. Brad and Debbie, we're keeping you in our hearts. And just a sorrow from myself. My aunt was recently diagnosed with cancer, and she is likely to undergo radiation in the coming year. I'll wait a few more seconds for anybody on Zoom to share. All right. All right. So we'll send hearts from one another to one another, from Zoom people to in-person people, and vice versa. Wide shot? Maybe?
We're good.
We're good? All right.
The next person I invited to come share a song is Carolyn Allenby.
Well, thank you. See you later. No. When I was 8 years old, I heard this song for the first time, and it stopped me in my tracks and made me realize that sometimes songs are written from a perspective that I can understand and appreciate. So, there are 3 verses to this song, and sing along whenever you feel like it. During the 3rd verse, Robert's going to help me, maybe Joan, maybe a couple others, to distribute some drums I have up here. And we'll go through the song a fourth time and just let it rock out. Some of them have paper on them. I have crayons. If you want to color them later on, or if you feel a little antsy the rest of the service, help yourself to some crayons. Come, they told me, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. A newborn king to see, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. Our finest gifts we bring, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. That's fit to give a king, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. So to honor him, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, when we come, baby Jesus, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. I am a poor boy too, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. I have no gift to bring, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. That's fit to give a king, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. Shall I play for you, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, on my drum? Mary nodded, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. The ox and lamb cat time, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. I played my drum for him, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. I played my best for him, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. Then he smiled at me, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, me and my drum, me and my drum. La 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 la. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 la ba da 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 da. Ba da 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 da. La da 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 da. Then he smiled at me, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, we and our drums. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your drums and whatever else you find to make music on.
Thank you, Carolyn. So, Christmas was the holiday I celebrated growing up, and it was always a really big ordeal because we flew all the way to Boston, Massachusetts every year. We took the 5-hour flight to stay at my grandma's house and she always had chocolate chip cookies waiting for us when we landed. I grew up in a very Italian, very Roman Catholic family, so Christmas Eve was when we did all the fun celebrations. We did the Feast of the Seven Fishes, so we had clam chowder and quahogs and mussels and my uncle's boiled lobsters in the driveway. I never liked lobster, so I ate spaghetti. We had a huge white elephant, and my mom would gently guide my brother and me away from the gag gifts and towards a new game for our Nintendo DSs. The finale for the night was always running out in our neighbors' borrowed coats to watch the fire truck pull Santa's sleigh around the neighborhood. The next day, we would open all our gifts, but my absolute favorite part was my grandma's homemade raviolis every Christmas day. I dream about those. There was a routine, but there were also some curveballs every year. When I was in first grade, the Feast of the Seven Fishes was interrupted by me losing a tooth. When I woke up in the morning, I not only had all of my presents from Santa, but I also got a silver dollar from the Tooth Fairy. This is very important for you all to know, especially you kids. If you put a silver dollar in a piggy bank, it is too big to fit through the hole at the bottom, and you will never get it out. Yeah, you keep that in your mind. Even though it got stuck, that silver dollar was one of my most prized possessions, and I just rattled it around. Of course, Christmas changed over the years. I went vegetarian, which irritated my family to no end, even though I never ate the lobster. My cousin converted to Judaism when she married her husband, which won me some allies in the not eating lobster department. But a lot of things stayed the same, and just having a time of year where most things didn't change was really nice. I haven't been to Boston for Christmas in 4 years, but when I think of Christmas, I think of being there and all of the wonderful things that happen.
The third person who agreed to share a song was Mr. Robert. So, you're up, Robert.
Hello, I'm Robert. I use he, him pronouns. For those that know me, you won't be surprised I picked a kid-inclusive song, but mostly that includes the kid in all of us. So sing with me. Do we have the words?
Do you have the lyrics for this one?
I'm sure we know that.
There they are. Here we go. Go ahead and jump to the first slide.
I want to remind everyone that it's pronounced Donder, not Donner.
All right.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glowed. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer game. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then all the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, Yippee! Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.
Thanks, Robert. So, for some of us, submitting things through joys and sorrows or becoming a worship associate like Mary is not the best way to share. We'd rather just talk to somebody. So we're going to take a few minutes just to do that. I like when we have a service that has enough time to do this. I know it's putting people on the spot, but look at the people around you. Notice who's here. Folks on Zoom, go to gallery view, turn on your camera if you're willing, look at the other folks on Zoom, look who's with you. In a moment, I'm going to ask those here in the sanctuary to divide into groups of 2 or 3, and maybe consider being in a group with someone that you didn't come with, but you can be with folks you came with. It's fine, fine. Zoom folks, you're going to be put in breakout rooms, and this section will be cut from the recording. The mics will be off, don't worry. So it'll be, publicly confidential. And please, I'm going to set a timer for 6 minutes. And for those 6 minutes, please take turns sharing some thoughts about or feelings or memories related to Christmas with the folks that you're with. So if you're in a group of 2, you'll each get about 3 minutes. And if you're in a group of 3, you'll each get about 2 minutes. I'll ask you to time for yourself. No, I'll announce it, actually. I'll announce it. Don't interrupt the person sharing until their time is up, so they actually get their 2 minutes or their 3 minutes. And you can share things that are good. You can share things that are bad. If there's something else on your mind, you can talk about that, not about Christmas at all. If it's not really an assignment, if you'd like to spend your turn in silence, just thinking, that's totally fine. If someone you're with is doing that, just pay attention to them in silence for a few minutes. It can be a nice break. And after the 6 minutes is up, I'll call you all back. Any questions before we try this? All right. Grab another person or 2 right now. Go for it. And I'll start the time. Here we go. That was time. Thank you for coming back. And I like, clearly this has been valuable. Folks enjoying chatting. Thank you all so much. We have 1 more song. No, 2 more songs. 2 more songs. The first of them is the last person that I asked to come up. It was Natasha and John and Felix are going to lead a song for you. So John, here's a vocal mic, and this is kind of pickup.
Thank you. I would love that, yes. Thank you so much. Did you know that there are this many verses to Jingle Bells? I actually didn't know. Oh yeah, we're doing the whole thing, man.
Oh my goodness.
We're here for a good time.
And a long time.
And a long time, yep.
All right.
I think I might need 1 more.
I can run it up to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Are you ready with your Jingle Bell, buddy? All right. You ready? Oh, you can do the drum instead? Well, who wants the Jingle Bell? Anybody up here want that? You'll do the, okay, cool. Ready? You ready? Okay. Dashing through the snow in a 1-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ha ha ha! Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a 1-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a 1-horse open sleigh. Day or 2 ago, I thought I'd take a ride, and soon Miss Fanny Brides was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lank, misfortune seemed his lot. We ran into a drifted bank, and then we got upsot. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a 1-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a 1-horse open sleigh. Day or 2 ago, the story I must tell. I went into the snow, and on my back I fell. A gent was riding by in a 1-horse open sleigh. He laughed at me as I lay there, but quickly drove away. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a 1-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a 1-horse open sleigh. Last verse. horse. Now the ground is white. Go it while we're young. Take the girls along and sing a sleighing song. Just bet a bobtail bay. No 240 was his speed. Hitch him to an open sleigh and crack, you'll take the lead. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. All right, thank you all so much. You did a great job, buddy. Yes.
So, I was going to tell you my second story from my normal mic, and it was going to be, at first, I thought I would tell you about how Santa doesn't care if you believe in him or not. But I'm just going to tell you that. Santa doesn't care if you believe in him or not. He already exists. The same way someone in Mongolia doesn't care if you believe in them or not. They still exist. We got that. So I don't need to tell that from the mic. And then I thought about telling you the story about a little girl and her brother whose parents had a wild party and their uncle showed up with a wild gift and the gift broke and she ate too much candy and she fell asleep and had nightmares about people from all over the world, and this woman with a big huge dress and all these children came out from under the dress and there were mice and they had a fight and the girl had these wild dreams and then she woke up and the toy was fixed. But that's a story a lot of you already know. And my ankle still hurts, so doing the ballet pieces of it might be a little hard. So instead, I thought I would stand here and tell you a story about my life and a Christmas Eve that I had. When I graduated college, I was younger than most people were, which isn't so much a big deal, except for it meant that it was a lot easier for me to move back home with my mama and not feel ashamed about it, because I was still pretty young. And I got 2 jobs. I worked as an elementary school substitute teacher as a permanent sub. So for the first 4 months of that position, I was a kindergarten teacher from 7 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. every day. So imagine you are 19 years old and have a class of 30 kindergartners every day. And then I would leave work at 3:15 and take one of my nephews, drop him off at home, and then drive to the next town over and work at a restaurant as waitstaff from 4 until closing, which was 10 or 11 or 12. It was a lot, but I had so much cash. I had 0 time to spend it, and as some of you may know, I grew up in rural Massachusetts. Not the Boston part of it, not the airports. There was also a Boston shirt, I think someone had on. Yeah, this is the Massachusetts portion of our worship. Okay. I grew up in rural Massachusetts in the Berkshires, up in the hills, so there wasn't really anything to spend it on. Amazon wasn't a thing yet, so I wasn't ordering things. I had lots and lots of money. This was a year when the way the school year worked out, our last day of class that I had to teach kindergarten was on the 23rd. So I worked on the 23rd at the school, worked at the restaurant, and then on the 24th, I knew the new teacher was coming back, or the old teacher was coming back at the end of Christmas break, and the 24th would be the last day I could be in the classroom and I could clean it up nice for her. And she had been away on medical leave, so I wanted it to be nice. So I went in that day and cleaned up the classroom, made sure the kids had all of their stuff, everything labeled, wrote out all her notes, and then at 3:15, like a normal day, I left and drove to work at the restaurant. And it was starting to snow. Don't worry, I drove a Subaru. I was raised queer, I know what's what. But it was still snowing, and it was cold, and I made sure not to leave anything in the car so it didn't freeze, and I went in and I worked my shift. And as you can imagine, on Christmas Eve at an Italian restaurant, there was tons of soupy seafood dishes. And there was lots and lots and lots of red wine. And people loved celebrating. And I had tons of tables, lots of big families. The restaurant was owned by a local family, so all of their family was there. And I was one of the few people working. and it got really hectic. And as it got hectic, people would stay at their tables for longer and longer, and as they stayed at their tables for longer and longer, there were more and more wine bottles that were more and more empty. And at one point in the night, a gentleman who was fairly well known in the town was feeling very, very jolly, or at least very red-faced, and decided to tell me Merry Christmas in the way that in the early 2000s was seen as okay and was never ever actually okay to do to waitstaff. He stood up and he said, "Come here, honey," and put his hand around my waist, had his bottle in the other hand and said, "Isn't it a great day? Merry Christmas," and went to drink straight out of his bottle of wine. But as you can imagine, he was swaying and cheering, and he ended up pouring most of the bottle of wine down my shirt and onto me. And this was a fairly formal restaurant. I don't know how many of you have been to the Berkshires. We don't have a lot of formal fancy things there, but we have a few. And my bosses were very strict about nice crisp black bottoms, so a skirt or pants, and a very crisp white shirt. So my very crisp white shirt was now pink. I was drenched. I had an extra in the back, but I was beyond stressed, and I was exhausted. And I went back into the kitchen. I wasn't a crier. Actually, it wasn't until I joined you folks that I started crying a lot. It's probably a good thing. But I went back into the kitchen, frustrated, upset. I took off my apron. I paced a little bit by the waitstaff stand, trying to calm down, getting ready to go get my other shirt and get changed. I still had like 2 hours left to my shift. And it was cold outside, and I could see the snow was starting to pile up, and it was just too much. And we were running out of dishes. And the owners came over to me. And their names were Chris and John. And if you grew up in the Berkshires, you know lots and lots of brothers named Chris and John. They're all named Chris and John. I have a set of twin cousins named Chris and John. Chris and John came over to me, and they said, how would you feel if you went home for the night? And I stepped back and I was like, well, I can work. You're understaffed. No one's expecting me. I can stay. And they said, no, think about it for a little bit. Here, have something to eat. And my favorite thing to eat at the restaurant was their marinara sauce, because it was amazing, and I would just eat it in a bowl with like 3 bow tie pasta floating on it, just as a gesture towards pasta. So good. And I sat and ate it, and the floor manager came over and she said, honey, it's a Christmas miracle. You get to go home early. Okay, it's a miracle. I'll go home early. It's a miracle. So I called my mom to say I was coming home early. And she said, actually, Simon, who was my partner at the time, called and his car isn't starting and he needs to be picked up at work in Pittsfield. So I was in North Adams, which in normal times is about a half-hour drive, maybe 45 minutes if I'm driving. But it was snowing and it was bad and it was icy. I said, okay, well, I'm leaving work early. I can go pick him up. It took me an hour and a half to get there. The roads were bad, there was accidents, all sorts of things, and I'm a cautious driver to begin with. But I got there and knocked on the door of the very fancy restaurant he worked at called Subway. And his manager opened the door, was, Katie, you're here. Oh my gosh, it's a Christmas miracle. I'm so glad you made it through the roads. Okay, it's a Christmas miracle. I'll be thankful for it. And I went to pick Simon up and he said, oh, actually, I got my car to start. We're gonna give it one last time. And he said, it's a Christmas miracle. I'll drive myself home, just follow me. Okay, it's a Christmas miracle. The miracles were starting to feel a little bit heavy at this point. So at that point, we're in sort of the valley, and the mountain I grew up on is a windy road through a few towns, including Dalton, Mass., where the paper for all of our dollar bills is made, which was pretty amazing to drive through the mill and watch the frost and the snow fall. And I drove slowly and saw the lights, and it felt so peaceful. And then I got up to the next town, Windsor, and the wind picked up. And the dry snow from the day started blowing around back and forth and across the road, and the snow kept falling more, so there was snow coming at me, as well as snow swirling around. Think driving towards Casa Grande in August right before it rains, okay? And I'm driving and making my way slowly, and it starts to get icy, and there are way too many cars out, more than there should be, and I stink like wine. I don't drink. It was awful. And I made it through Windsor, and there's this really icy patch where you turn into the town that I grew up in. Town. 500 people live there. Town is a fancy word. But I made it across the ice patch, and my car held out, and I felt, ooh, that was the first time I said to myself, that felt like a miracle. Because there were 2 other cars already stuck in the bank. And I started driving down, down, down. And as I cross into Savoy, there's a sign that says, "Welcome to Savoy." And if you've ever been to Massachusetts, we have these signs that are shaped like books. We have the state seal, "Welcome to Savoy." It's very iconic. And I see that sign, and I think, oh, thank God, almost home. And I relax a little bit, and I start to listen to the music. I let myself turn the radio on. The snow is swirling and beautiful. And out of nowhere, a giant white horse comes running up the middle of the road towards my car. I didn't slam on the brakes, because I am well trained in icy weather, but I got out of the way of the horse. The horse ran by my car. I watched its flanks by the driver's side. Okay, that was startling, but I'm okay. It's a Christmas miracle! I get down to my house, drive through. We lived on a road with only 2 houses, so took the turn in very slowly around the corner by the river, avoiding ice. It hadn't been plowed yet. I pull up and get home, pull myself together, go into the house. I'm greeted, everyone's happy, everyone's great, and I say, wait, I have to go call the state police. Why do you have to call the state police? Because I saw a horse. No one in my house bat an eye. They're like, okay, that makes sense. I call and I let them know, hey, someone's horse is out. Here's where I saw it, da-da-da-da-da. And the police officer on the other line was a very chipper woman. She said, oh my gosh, you saw a white horse. Was it pulling a sleigh? Ha, 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 ha. I was like, no, it almost killed me. And she was like, well, I don't know what we're supposed to do. And I'm like, well, you're supposed to go out and find it and bring it back to its owner. That's what you do. Well, I don't know anything about that. I'm from Boston. Great. You need to go get this horse. Well, whose horse could it possibly be? How would I know? It's like, well, there are 500 people in this town. I can tell you whose horse it is. You can? It's a Christmas miracle. Dear Lord, woman. And I've never been good with cops, so it was all stressful. At that point, we're all home safe. I'm exhausted. And I finally get to take off my wine-soaked outfit, get out of the shoes I've been wearing since 7 a.m. My car is parked safe. Everyone is home safe. And the phone rings. And it's the neighbor calling to say thank you for helping his horse get back home. And I get in a very, very hot bathtub because we had solar heated hot water and it was amazing. And I sunk into the tub and I thought, fuck you, Christmas miracles.
I planned one last song. Do y'all want one more song? Yeah? Okay. So you know this one. This is the 12 Days of Christmas. In the Christian calendar, the liturgical calendar, Christmas is 12 days long. It starts today and marking the birth of Jesus. It ends 12 days from now on what is known often as Three Kings Day, when it said an Epiphany, when the three kings arrived. And we usually give presents on Christmas Day, but there must have been a time when people gave presents throughout the 12-day season, because this song is all about that, right? Getting presents through the season. And it's a kind of a memory game. It's thought that this song was originally a memory game where you had to remember the lines, and if you didn't remember, you had to pay some kind of a forfeit. We'll play it cooperatively. I'll help you out. And of course, a lot of you know this. Yeah, let's stand. This one is fun. It's got some motions. So, and yeah, actually, let's make some motions. So the first verse we all sing. On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a partridge in a pear tree. But the second one, I'm going to ask just this third to represent, and it's 2 turtle doves. And, give us some kind of bird motion, some kind of wing flapping. On the second day of Christmas, my true love sent to just them. And a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day, it's 3 French hens. We already did a bird one. I'm thinking like the stereotype is that the French drink a lot of wine, so maybe like 3 French hens, right? On the third day of Christmas, my true love sent to me. And a partridge in a pear tree. 4 calling birds. On the 4th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. We all get to do 5 gold rings, right? That's a fun one. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 gold rings. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. I want to see you a little better. All right, so we made it to 5 gold rings. 6 is, geese a laying. We're back to you. So, yep, geese a laying. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. 7 swans swimming. Whatever, breaststroke? However you want to swim. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 swans swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. 8 maids a milking, I guess. On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8 maids a milking, 7 swans swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. All right, we're 9. Yeah, we're 2/3 of the way through Christmas. Okay, great. 9 ladies dancing. On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. 10 on the 10th day, 10 lords a leaping. Yeah? On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 10 lords a leaping, ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. 11 pipers piping on the 11th day, which is like it's not smoking a pipe, but like a flute. A pipe like this or like this. On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, devotions, just for fun. You watch me, I'll do them for you. And the 12th day, what you get are 12 drummers drumming. On the 12th day of Christmas, the true love gave to me 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a-leap, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a-milking, 7 swans a-swimming, 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
Immediately following service, we will have coffee hour, one online and one outside. Please be masked in the Johnson room. If you're outside, masks are optional. You're welcome to keep sharing and listening to each other's thoughts about Christmas. Go in peace, go in love, and again, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.